for length AB using similar triangles. A, B, C. Let's say I tell you that this is 38 degrees, and this is 12 centimeters, let's say. Okay, so example 1, solve for length AB, which is this side right here, a side length, using similar triangles. What is wrong with this question? What is wrong with this question?
We need another triangle.
Sorry?
We need another triangle.
Yes, that's right. Using properties of similar triangles, we need at least 2 triangles. How many triangles do you see here?
1.
Just 1. So we cannot use similar triangle properties to solve. So what we learned yesterday cannot be applied to this. Okay? So what can we use? We can use something called SOH CAH TOA. SOH CAH TOA. Okay. No, this is not a different language. It's not Greek. Okay. These are acronyms to help you remember the order of what you should use. How many of you heard of SOH CAH TOA before? One person only? Okay, good for you. Well, guess what? You actually can find out what S stands for. You can find out what S stands for looking at your calculator. You've been actually looking at it, staring at it for the last few years, and you never realized. Yeah, what was it? I heard it. What does S stand for? Sin. It's actually pronounced sign, but yeah, it's actually spelled S-I-N-E. But because there's only so much space on the calculator, we just write S-I-N. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, so what do you think this C stands for? Cos. Yes, and that is not, it's not called cos, it's actually called cosine. Yes, so, yeah. So, but yes, the C represents the cosine. And for the T, tan, do you know the real name? Tangent. Good job. You made that up? Oh, you guessed it. Good guess. Out of all, you could have guessed it tangerine, tango. But yeah, so sine, cosine, tangent. Those are the actual words. Okay, so we know what S, C, and T stands for, but then what about the O and H? What are those? Oh, Samir, here you go.
Thank you.
And Albert? Okay, so make sure you guys pay attention to today's lesson. Your test is basically based on this. Yeah.
Sin equals O divided by H, right?
Yeah, and we'll get to that. What is O? What is H? What is those? What is it? What is O, H, and A? What are these? What do they stand for? So looking at this triangle, what type of triangle is this? Right angle triangle. So you use SOH CAH TOA on right angle triangles. So if you're only given one triangle, it has to be a right angle triangle. Okay. In a right angle triangle, what is this side right here? Yeah. The hypotenuse. Yes. Oh, hypotenuse. H. Finally, the letters match up with what their word is. So that's what the OH and A are. Hypotenuse is H. Okay. This I gave you the angle right here. So the side across from the angle, what do you call the side? Opposite. The O. And so what do you think the A stands for? Yeah. Adjacent. Good job. All right, and that's where the OH and A comes from. So what you're saying is sine sine, for example, like angle C, because we're given angle C, you're saying sine C equals the opposite length divided by the hypotenuse length. So for cosine, is the cosine of the angle equals what ratio? What to what? It's CAH, so it's cosine C equals adjacent over what? Hypotenuse. Say C SOH CAH. So for tangent, what do you think? What over what? Ivy? Over adjacent. Yeah, say it with confidence. You got it. Alright? That's why TOA. SOH CAH TOA. Now, what happens if you misspell SOH CAH TOA? You get it wrong on the test. Okay? So if you are going to use SOH CAH TOA to help you the order, make sure you remember the spelling. Don't say it as SOH CAH TOA. Don't call it Katoia. Okay? This word has been around for a while. So I think it works. Okay? SOH CAH TOA, SOH CAH TOA, SOH CAH TOA. So you always remember the order. Okay. So now the second question. When do we know which one of the three are we supposed to use? How do we know if we should use sine or cosine or tangent? We have like three different choices. How do I know when to use which? So for example, right here in this question, what are we given and what are we trying to find? Just like in science, I know you guys do this. What are you, which opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent, which side are you given? Yep, adjacent. So you're given adjacent. And what are you trying to find? Opposite. O and A. Which one of these three has O and A in it? Ivy? Yeah, the tangent, TOA. So, which one has O and A in it? TOA. That's how I know. I'm going to use the tangent to solve. So, let's set it up. Tangent, do I know angle C? Is it given? Angle C is J? How much is angle C? 38 degrees. Yeah. So tangent 38 degrees equal opposite is what we don't know. So we're going to put O for opposite or opposite like that. Doesn't matter. Or you can use a variable. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to use, sorry. Can anyone have whiteout? Whiteout? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I don't want to just call it X. Since this is the side opposite to angle C, what is this length? what letter do we use to represent the opposite side? Yep. Lowercase c, perfect. So I'm going to write C. So instead of writing opposite, we should really put in a variable. Since this is angle C, opposite to it, that's lowercase c. And over adjacent, how long is adjacent? Yep, 12. All right. So now we have an equation where we only have one unknown. We can solve that. 1038. We're finally going to use our calculator to figure what that is. So we're going to just push 1038. On some calculator, you have to do 38 and then the 10 button. So know how to use your calculator. And I got this. Did anybody get a different decimal on their calculator? Okay, good. I want that. I was hoping at least one of you will get a different decimal. All right. Take a look at your calculator. Do you see DEG on the top or a D button? Does it say rate RAD? Or does it say GRAD? All right. You have to make sure your calculator is in degree mode. If it's not in degree mode, you're going to have wasted 75 minutes of your test time. So, because you did the whole test in the wrong mode, basically. So make sure. As soon as I give you that test on test day, very first thing is check what mode you're in. Make sure it's in degree mode. If it's not, there's a button right here that's mode. And you have to keep pressing it until you see that D for degrees. Okay, so tangent 38, I should get this decimal. Yep. Miriam? What does it say on the top? Rad. Yeah, so that's the wrong mode. Let's see. Yeah, this. DRG. So I'll show it on hers. So for hers, notice it says rad right here. So she has to press this button, degree mode, until it says degree. Okay, there you go, no problem. Yep. Come on up. Okay, for yours, yeah, so for hers, also there's a G. There's a G, which means it's in the wrong mode as well. So for hers, for her calculator, let me see. Nope, no reset button. Okay, shift, setup, and then you see it here, degree, press 3. Now it's in degree mode. Yeah, so if your calculator is not in degree mode, make sure you come see me and I'll help you change it. Okay, so now everybody should see this on their calculator, 0.781285626. Do I need to write every single number? No. Can I just round it to 1? Oh, yeah, go. Okay. So, no, for all of these ratios, you need 4 decimal places. Make sure you write 4 decimal places when you write these ratios. So 0.7813. If you don't write 4 decimal places, you're going to get a rounding error. And remember, you only want to round in your final answer. Right, Samir? Let's follow along. Okay. So if I put this over 1, does that help visualize what we should do? How should we solve for C? Yep. Yeah. So we can either multiply by 12 on each side or cross multiply. I like the cross multiply method more. All right, so when you cross multiply, 1 times C is just C, and then that times 12, you get Your answer. That's your final answer. So now I can round my final answer to 1 decimal place. So 9.4. What's my unit? Taking a look at the diagram. Yep. Centimeters, right? Remember the original question was solve for the length. So since lowercase c represent length, this is a length. Okay. Do not write 9.4 degrees as your final answer. We were not looking for an angle. We were looking for length. And there you go. Okay. Let's try one more. So that's how you use SOH-CAH TOA to solve for a length or angle when you're only given one triangle. Okay, example 2. Example 2. Let's use 38 degrees again. And I'm going to give you this as 15 meters. Okay. And let's call it PQR. Let's call this PQR. And I want you to solve for PQ. Okay. So what is my very first step? Yeah. Sorry, say that again? Right, identified the triangle, identified the HO and A. Okay, so what side is this? Hypotenuse, because it's across from this 90-degree angle. Alright, so notice I purposely drew the triangle upside down. Alright, so this is hypotenuse because it's across from the 90-degree angle. What is this side? Ivy? Opposite. How do you know it's opposite? Opposite to the angle that we're given. Okay, and so that means this side has to be adjacent. Perfect. Okay, so now we write down what we're given and what we're trying to find. Which side are we given? Rosie? We're given opposite, and we're trying to find adjacent. Okay, so which one of the three it has O and A? Taisha? Tangent. TOA. Okay, and so that's how I know. Oh, did I choose the? Oh man, I meant to do a different one. I didn't know I already did tangent here, but you get the idea. I wanted to do one tangent and one something else, but it's okay. So yeah, tangent. Do we know the angle? Yep, 38 degrees equals what over what? Yeah, there you go. R over, okay, TOA. Tangent opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Yes. Right, you said O was 15. So opposite over adjacent. Okay. Tangent 38. 10, 38. On the calculator, we got 0.7813 equals 15 over R. Yeah. Oh, because it's the opposite side to angle R. In the next chapter, these letterings would come in handy. So if you are consistent now with how you label the color sides, it will help you in chapter 8. Okay. So again, put it over 1. So if I put this over 1 and do cross multiply, I get 0.7813 R equals 15. So then R equals 15 over 0.7813. Okay. So you see the difference between this one and this one? This one, when my variable is on the top, I'm multiplying. This one, when my variable is on the bottom, I'm dividing. All right. So whether your variable is on the top or bottom, it makes a difference. So when the variable is on the bottom, you're dividing. When it's on the top, you're multiplying. So 15 divided by 0.7813. You get, what did you guys get? 0.21. Okay, so round it to 1 decimal place, so 19.2. Good job. What's my unit? Meters, because it's a length. Yay. Okay. So now I know how to find lengths. One last example. Finding angles. Okay. Question? Sure.
Does sin divided by cos equal 10?
Say that again?
Does SOH over CAH equal TOA?
Not TOA, but tangent equals sine over cosine. Yes. It has this ratio that you will learn in, it's a trig identity that you'll learn in grade 12.
Because I noticed there's 2 heights in both of them, and you can flip them when you divide. They just
Yeah.
cancel each other.
Yes. So this is part of the grade 12 trig identities. So good. All right. Last example. Let's try to solve for okay, A, B, C. Solve for angle A. And I give you right. Solve angle A. Okay, what is my very first step? Let me hint. My red pen. Corin, what's my very first step? So label the HO and A. Yeah, I think that's what you meant, right? Yeah. So what side is this? Hypotenuse. Good job, because it's opposite to that. That's my H. What is this side? All right, so let's have a vote. Who says opposite? Who says adjacent? Oh, half and half. Okay. I'm looking for this angle, which means I am from this angle, looking from this angle. So now that you know this is the angle that I'm looking from, this side that's across from it is opposite, which means this is adjacent. Okay. What are you given? What are you finding? Which side am I given? Yep. Yep. And I'm looking for... Oh, sorry. Oops. I'm actually given two sides. And adjacent. Yeah, I'm given hypotenuse and adjacent, and I'm trying to find angle A. Okay, A and H. I'm given two things. I'm given the A and H. Okay. I'm given A and H. SOH CAH TOA. Which one has A and H in it? Yeah. Cosine. I thought someone would say ka. But yes, cosine. Yeah, so again, that's how you know which one to use. So let's set it up. Cosine. Do we know the angle? No, and that's what we're trying to find, right? So we keep A, and then it's adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's what over what? Ivy? 4 over 5. Excellent. Right? Adjacent over hypotenuse. Right? 4 over 5. What is 4 over 5? 0.8. Yeah, it's just a decimal. So cosine A equals 0.8. Right? Remember, we're trying to solve for A, so that means we have to move the cosine over. Okay. What's the opposite of cosine? No, the opposite of cosine is not sine. I know somebody must be thinking that. Right. Take a look at your calculator. What do you think the opposite of cosine is? Yeah? Cosine to the power of -1. This little thing right here. But it's not called cosine to the -1. It's not cosine minus 1. It's called cosine inverse. It's these fancy names. So yeah, the opposite of that is cosine inverse. Okay. So let me write that on the side. Inverse. It's called inverse. Okay, and you always use the inverse whenever you're looking for an angle. If you're not doing an angle, you'd never use the cosine inverse button. Okay. So how do I do how do I get this on my calculator? Right. Yeah. Yeah, you press that shift or second button, and then press that, you'll get the cosine inverse. And then you press 0.8, and you will get this. Okay, so A equal, what's my final answer then? Looking at this. Yeah. Okay, 36.9 what? Degrees. Excellent. Because you were solving for an angle. Right? So usually with angles, we round to the nearest whole angle, and then the length, we round to the nearest 1 decimal place. Okay, so 99% of the time, length is 1 decimal place, angle is the whole angle. Okay, let me get you guys to try. Okay, so let me just draw some random ones to see if you guys could do it. So those are the 3 scenarios. Those are the only 3 scenarios. Let's say M, N, and O. Okay, I just want you guys to label. Because labeling is like the most important step. Take an extra 10 seconds on your task to just label it. Make sure that you don't label it incorrectly. Okay, label the HO and A. What side is this? Yeah.
Opposite.
What side is it? I do this. What side is that? Hypotenuse. Okay, here's another one. Let's say I give you this. All right. What side is this? What side is this? What side is this? So SOH CAH TOA, which one would I use for this? So. Okay. Because O and H, you're given O and H, so you know so. Okay. This one. Let's say that, and then 80 degrees. Let's just say. And you are looking for this. Okay. Which side is this? Which side is this? Good. So what am I using? Ka. Yeah. A, H, so it's ka. Right, last one. Okay, very last one. What side is this? Who says H? I think you guys know me well enough to think that, Why is Miss Ching asking this? Isn't it obvious that it's H? Right? Huh? There's no right angle. See? Right angle, right angle, right angle. I never said this was a right angle triangle. Look back to the very first line that I wrote up here. To use SOH CAH TOA, what do you need? Yeah. So what can I do? Yeah, can't do it. Can't do SOH CAH TOA on non-right angle triangles. Okay. So just because it looks like 90 degrees, even though it doesn't look like it, you cannot do it on that. So to recap, to use similar triangles, how many triangles do you need? 2. To use SOH CAH TOA, what do you need? A right angle triangle. Okay. If it's neither or, then that's next chapter. That you don't have to worry about now. Next chapter, that's when we do these type of triangles. All right. So that's the lesson. You have this package right here. I do want you guys to finish all of this. It's not that long. It really isn't. All right. You have a good half an hour to start on this. I am doing homework check tomorrow on this package. Because that's what I keep saying, like 80% of your test is going to be based on this. Okay, so if you can do this, you ace the test. All right.